Hey everybody, what is going on? It's Adam Vanderhoof here from GAWDA TV. We are now less than 2 weeks away from GAWDA's Spring Management Conference in Nashville, Tennessee. We cannot wait to see everybody again in person. More than 600 GAWDA members are slated to attend, and we couldn't be more excited about this year's program. Today's episode features three of GAWDA's past presidents, Brad Peterson, Lloyd Robinson, and Jack Butler. We spoke with each of them about their time as president and how they've seen GAWDA grow and evolve over the years. These are fascinating conversations with industry heavyweights that you won't want to miss. But before we speak with our past presidents, GAWDA's current president, Abydee Butler Moore, joins us to discuss the changing COVID restrictions in Tennessee and how they will impact this year's conference. We speak with Abydee right after a word from today's sponsor, SafTCart. Recently, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee loosened state COVID restrictions. Joining us first today to discuss how that will impact SMC is GAWDA President Abydee Butler Moore. Abydee, thank you for joining us again.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Recently, the governor of Tennessee changed the state's COVID-19 statewide mandates. How will that change the safety protocols that had been in place for the SMC?
The new announcements by the governor really are quite fluid, right? So we're reacting as we see new protocols come out. The biggest thing that we want to make sure our members understand is if you move ahead now to the end of May, snapshot end of May, whatever the current protocols are, those are the ones we'll be following. So this is a very fluid situation. We can't even say anything definitively today, as it might all change in a week or so anyways. But what we hear is that Nashville and the state at large are loosening their restrictions, which is wonderful for us to have that back to normal feel of conducting business. We're quite excited about these loosening restrictions. But we do want our members to know that whatever the current restrictions are at that time, that's what we'll be following. We're not going to try to reinvent the wheel or create anything different than what the current mandates will be at the time of the convention.
If we take the mandates as they stand today and project them ahead to the dates of the show, it sounds like social distancing will be loosened a little bit, although still encouraged. Will GAWDA still provide hygiene kits and options to members on site?
Absolutely. GAWDA is going to provide all of the hygiene and wellness tools that we originally intended. There'll be hand sanitizer stations throughout the conference and at all food and beverage areas and randomly throughout everywhere. There will be ample hygiene tools available. We also are providing safety packets at registration. So masks will be provided, some disinfecting wipes will be provided. But what might change are the requirements of behaviors. So if social distancing, if the 6 feet is no longer a requirement, there will be no policing, if you will, of those types of behaviors. But GAWDA's plan is to provide all of the tools that we originally were going to help keep our members safe. The behavioral regulations might be a little bit less than we originally thought.
If there are members who are uncomfortable with these new state guidelines and less stringent protocols, what should those members do ahead of the SMC?
Well, we want to encourage members that if you're not comfortable attending, please don't attend. We have a very relaxed cancellation policy in relation to any COVID-related cancellations. If someone needs to cancel for a COVID-related reason, they can actually do so up until the first day of the meeting. Any cancellations that occur after the first day of the meeting will not be offered a refund. And of course, no-shows will not be offered a refund either. But we want to be as flexible as possible. We understand that this is a bit of a sticky and confusing time. We're looking forward to getting back in person, and we want to encourage the members who are comfortable to do so. Registration numbers are already north of 600. So there's absolutely industry demand to meet in person, and we're very excited to provide that opportunity to our membership. But of course, we're empathetic that if members are not comfortable attending, please don't, and contact GAWDA headquarters, and we will make sure that your money is refunded for registration.
Even with stringent protocols, do you still anticipate a safe and healthy environment for this year's conference?
Absolutely. The Gaylord property is massive. We heard that they just hosted a convention of tens of thousands of attendees. I mean, they do very big conventions. So for our size group, absolutely, we'll have ample space to spread out. We have the tools provided to stay safe. The weather is nice. We encourage people to only come if you're, feeling your 100% self. Of course, don't attend if you're under the weather or anything like that. And we're just ready to provide a great content-based meeting. And the pandemic is something that really disrupted our membership experience in 2020, and we're ready to get back to normal. And the industry is looking to GAWDA to start the event circuit. So we know that all eyes are on us to do this right, and we're not going to let our members down.
With less than 2 weeks before the SMC, what is the last message you want to leave members with before we gather in Nashville?
Well, one logistical update actually is make sure you pack your Western wear, your boots and your hats. The President's welcome reception is at Wild Horse Saloon, and we're embracing the Western theme of Nashville. So bring your denim and your cowboy or cowgirl attire. That'll be a lot of fun. And we're really just looking forward to getting back together. The content for this meeting is absolutely outstanding with the education track. So there will be a very high return on investment of attendance. And we're looking forward to keeping our eyes up this year and getting back to action.
Thanks for joining, Abydee. We'll see you soon. For up-to-the-minute SMC information leading up to and even during the conference, including the announcement of our exciting industry keynote presenter, Ben Glazer, make sure you download GAWDA's SMC app by clicking the link in the description.
It is important to keep your equipment running. Cryovation's thecryoshop.com has all the parts you need on the shelf to keep your plant going. Valves, vaporizers, pump parts, and more. Visit www.thecryoshop.com.
Today's member news segment is brought to you by Anthony Welded Products. 4 generations strong since 1958. GAWDA would like to extend its condolences to the friends and family of Al Stark, who passed away on May 10th. Lincoln Electric announced that Harris Products Group President David Nangle will retire effective October 1st. He will be succeeded by Gregory Doria. Norris Cylinder announced that it has hired Bill Kingsley as Regional Sales Manager for its Midwest region. Abydee Butler Moore, Hector Villarreal, and Mike Walsh joined the CGA Board of Directors. Holston Gases opened new branch locations in Birmingham and Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Noble Gas Solutions officially opened its Glen Falls location by hosting a ribbon cutting. Ratterman Manufacturing appointed Heather Fletcher as account manager. Siltech celebrated its 30th anniversary. Wise Telemetry was acquired by Oda Data Incorporated. The Catalina Composites division of Catalina Cylinders was acquired by Udom Composites. Aquagas celebrated its 4th anniversary in North Carolina. Tim Bourne was named VP Oceania and Southeast Asia for Nokiso Clean Energy and Industrial Gases Group. And finally, GAWDA would like to welcome the following new members to the association: Airchem Industrial Gases, Leonard Syrups, Tex Air Gas Co., and AirTech Gases. If you have member news that you'd like to see in the GAWDA Connection or a future episode of GAWDA TV, click the link in the description. And now we welcome to the show GAWDA 2018 and 19 GAWDA President Brad Peterson. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
Glad to be here. Happy to do it.
What would you say is your fondest memory from your time as GAWDA President?
Well, my fondest memory would have to be when we had the SMC in Minneapolis and we had the reception down by the Mississippi River. It was a beautiful, beautiful night. I was so worried coming into it because it had snowed only 10 days beforehand. And, there's a lot of stress when you're putting on a big meeting and having a lot of people come in. It's like throwing a big party at your house. And everything came off pretty flawlessly, at least from my perspective. There could have been little glitches people have had here and there, but that was one of my best memories.
Is there a particular achievement that you would say is your proudest moment of your term?
I would say one of the biggest things we went through was the GAWDA staff changeover. There were just some people that wanted to find other career opportunities, and it's a small staff, and just keeping the train on the tracks and keeping it running was a job for the people that stayed there and for myself and the new people coming in. So that was a bit of work. And then the other transition that we made was deciding that the incoming president needs to come in a year sooner, just because of these meetings. I had no appreciation, very little appreciation of what it takes to put on a meeting of this magnitude. And you really need to start planning early. The places that can host us book up well ahead of time. So we made the transition to having the incoming president have another year so that we can more effectively plan the meetings and get out ahead of the schedule and everybody else that wants a nice meeting venue.
Do you have any advice that you can offer from experience to your successors as GAWDA president?
I think the advice I would give is ask a lot of questions. You've got a long runway. Get involved with the executive committee. That group gets really tight, and just jump in with both feet and get ready for a wild ride. It's a lot of fun.
What would you say is your rallying cry to other GAWDA members?
My message to the association is we need to stay strong. Our biggest asset is our consultants and our staff that keep things running, and our membership. I mean, it's all a team. I guess that's the rallying cry. We're a team, and we exist to better the industry and our individual organizations. And together we can move ahead further and faster.
What did it mean to you personally to serve the industry and our association as president of GAWDA?
What it meant for me personally was the opportunity to give back to an industry that I've been in now for 30 years on this go around. I started out working for my father and then went off to the Navy for 8 years, and 30 years now in this industry. And it was an opportunity to give back. I've learned every step of the way. I've gotten back more than I've given at every step. So it's just a great opportunity to serve, and that's what I'm all about.
Thanks for joining, Brad. You have a great day.
Well, thanks for interviewing me, and I hope it's worth somebody's time to watch this.
Superior Products is a top American manufacturer of compressed gas fittings for the industrial and medical industries for 75 years. We strive to deliver top-notch customer service by turning our customers' problems into superior solutions. Join us in redefining gas management systems today.
We're now very excited to welcome to the show 2010 and 2011 GAWDA President Lloyd Robinson. Lloyd, thank you for joining us today.
Adam, thank you so much for inviting me. This is awesome.
You were president of GAWDA in 2010 and 11. How have you seen the industry and the association itself change in the years you were president?
Well, the most important change in the 10 years is that my hair is now gray, and I can't believe it's been over 10 years that I was president. But that being said, obviously the one major change has been that we are now a standalone organization, and that's a huge change, from certainly where we were when I got on the board in the late aughts. I think the other thing is how many women are now involved in leadership roles within GAWDA, Abydee being our second woman president and a bunch of women on the board. I think that's a another huge change. And I think that certainly GAWDA is a way more diverse organization than it was 10, 12 years ago. And, we still have a long, long ways to go, though it's certainly better today than it's ever been. And I'm very, very proud of that.
Do you have a specific achievement or memory from your time as president that you're most proud of?
So I think, clearly my fondest memory was at my convention in New York City, having my son recite he was probably about 6 or 8 years old, reciting the Pledge of Allegiance with Joe Campbell. I think that was really, really amazing. I think also that year we raised a little over $200,000 for GAWDA Gives Back, which I think was the high watermark at the time, and I'm not sure it still might be the high watermark of GAWDA Gives Back. As I said before, the transition from Fernley to AWS happened when I was on the board, culminating, in Jenny's year, and then sort of the transition happening in my year. I think that was very, very important for GAWDA. And of course, bringing the convention to New York City after everyone thought that nobody would ever attend 10 years after 9/11. I think that was also a great achievement and really a great memory of being able to bring everybody to my hometown.
Do you have any advice to your successors on the board as president and as one of GAWDA's elder statesmen?
Well, Adam, I watched your talk last couple weeks ago, and Randy Squibb was on there. He really is the elder statesman. I'm still a young buck. At least I feel that way. But thanks, Adam, for pointing out how old I am. I think the most important thing is, honestly, have fun and do not take anything personally. Everyone comes up to you when you're president with really, harebrained ideas and just really some crazy thoughts. Just understand that everyone comes from a place of love and hope that they're doing something good for the organization, as crazy as you think they are. Just the key is have fun, enjoy it. If you treat it like a job, it's going to be miserable. If you treat it like it's going to be fun for a year, you're going to enjoy it and have lasting memories. And a special shout out to Jack Butler, who I believe might be the person who's been a past president the longest that's still working in the industry. So Jack, congratulations on that, and congratulations on having Abydee succeed you as also a GAWDA president.
What is your biggest message to the rest of the association?
You have to be in it. And that's the key. I mean, GAWDA is a special industry association because of the partnership between the distributors and the supplier members. And that is what really sets us apart. And you could only have that camaraderie and that ability to interact, with your vendors and as the vendors with your suppliers, if you're in it. So that's my real big takeaway is, GAWDA is an amazing organization, and it's only amazing because we're all involved in it and continue to stay involved.
Thanks for being part of the show, Lloyd. You have a great day.
My pleasure, Adam. It's been great. Thank you so much.
A relative newcomer to the GAWDA community, DDS is a leading provider of web-ready product content in the gas and welding industry with over 700,000 SKUs. Whether you're launching or improving your e-commerce offering, DDS is ready to help make it easy. We are very excited to be joined today by 1992 and 1993 GAWDA President Jack Butler. Jack, we appreciate you being here. How are you?
Thank you, Adam. It's a pleasure to be here.
You were president of the NWSA in 1992 and 93. How have you seen the association change and evolve since you served as president?
Well, it's changed a lot. It's number one, it's gotten a lot smaller. We used to have thousands of members, so it's gotten smaller. The same first reason, it used to be a good old boys club. The founders of these companies were running them when I started in the 90s. So we had a great leadership from the top with the good old boys, but they gave us great direction. So then, of course, it kind of evolved into more business content as as we got in the 90s and the year 2000. Really, the baby boomers were taken over then from the great generation that taught us. Of course, now it's younger and much more diverse. Classic example is the GAWDA board. I mean, just look at Natasha running the thing with John, and Abydee, Colleen, Linda, and Allie. So it's so different now. It's more business, less of a schmooze by suppliers, and more business content for independent distributors.
What is your fondest memory of your time as president?
Well, like I said before, we were very lucky because we had this great generation. We had guys like John Berenger and Bob Jackson and Larry Kistler and Peter Plank, and they just helped us so much. So my greatest achievement was I was the second of the baby boomers, and Dr. Dan Paris, who was 2 years ahead of me, they gave us a complete carte blanche to change the association. We had too many meetings, and buying groups were coming aboard and other meetings. We had 6 spring meetings. So we had the same meeting 6 times in the spring: north, south, east, west, central Canada. So we changed all that. We went from 6 to 3 to 2 to 1 because we feel good about that. The suppliers were complaining too much work. The volunteers were complaining. So the great generation kind of convinced we, the baby boomers, to change it, and we did very quickly. So I think that was what I feel best about because it helped everybody.
You spoke earlier about the diversity of the board. Your daughter, Abydee, is serving as this year's president. How proud does that make you feel to see your daughter follow in your footsteps as president of the association?
Well, extremely proud. I mean, I would offer that the whole industry trained Abydee. She hung around in the 90s. She was going to every GAWDA meeting and all these 6 meetings every spring. So Abydee is just kind of trained by the industry, and she's always been like a sponge. I would argue she's a great team player. She's humble, she's hungry, and she has good people skills. So we're very proud of Abydee, and we think she's kind of the first of the next gens taking over. So I think she'll do a great job, and she is doing a great job.
What was your biggest piece of advice to Abydee as she took over the mantle of president?
It really wasn't my advice. It was my father's advice. So I was very young when my father died. I was 24 years old. And almost on his deathbed, he told me, get active in trade associations because there's so many great people and the people will train you. So I told Abydee the same thing. And she found out for herself when she was 10, 12, 15, 16, 20, she was going to all these meetings, meeting everybody. Everybody was training her. She developed a passion for our business because she saw everyone else had a passion for our business. So the leaders of our industry trained Abydee, and now she's a leader. That's very cool.
How would you say that being a member of GAWDA has positively impacted Butler Gas?
I would argue it's probably the best thing we ever did. There's so many great companies, so many great success stories. The suppliers help us out. We have a lot of win-win relationships. That really helps. But just networking with distributors, it's helped our bottom line so much. We're safer because the cling and clang of our cylinders. We learn from all the consultants. We are more profitable because we learn from our friends who are sometimes much smarter than us. And we just have a great relationship. And we just feel the more we give, the more we receive. And my father felt that way. I feel that way. And probably the best of the family is Abydee. So the more we give, the more we receive. And GAWDA is a great group.
Thanks again, Jack. You have a great day.
Our pleasure, Adam. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for being with us today. We cannot wait to see you all soon in Nashville at this year's SMC. To download the SMC app, click the link in the description. You absolutely need this app. Also, this year's SMC issue of Welding and Gases Today, it's online now, and you can also access that by clicking the link in the description. We hope you'll join us on June 1st, where we discuss all of the most important benefits of your GAWDA membership. You do not want to miss it. For GAWDA TV, I'm Adam Vanderhoof.